on the two, you talked about complementary.
Yeah, I did. You know, for us, it's a turnover. When the defense can get off the field in 3 and outs, we call them knockouts. And those knockouts are just as good as a fumble recovery or an interception. And to see our guys answer on those 3 and outs, and that's what you've been working on. And you know, while we're coaching them hard, we're going to coach them hard. You know, and the expectation is the expectation. The standard is standard. And you know, to see them come and put it together, that's what you work for. That's what you work for on Tuesday. That's what you work for on Wednesday. That's what you work for coming in on Friday in Spiders and the speed that we were able to practice on Friday. So kind of had a good inkling. How well you're going to do depends on how well you prepare, and I thought our preparation this week was a step up.
Now, how would you gauge kind of how the team kind of improved or moved from last week to this week, especially on offense?
You know, probably just game planning. You know, again, when you're have no film or there's new guys, you know, game one, it's a little bit different. You don't know what you're going to expect. You know, we probably were a little bit vanilla, and we knew we have guys that we need to get touches. You play with one football, and it's hard. You got 12, you got 4, you got running backs. I mean, to see T.C. Caffey there at the end of the game, we got running back room, Deshaun Watley and Tahir Mills. And, you know, we got other receivers, too, that you guys don't know who they are, but we do. And you try to involve as many as you can. I think we did that today. You saw some, you know, reverses to get flash, you know, some touches. And, you know, we try to do the same thing with Richard Dandridge, who we think can be a phenomenal player for us. So it's just trying to put the pieces. And, you know, we went in the game without our 2 tight ends. You know, you go in without Colt Seacrest or Austin Bray. I was happy how Alex McDonald stepped up, and Michael Manna. You know, Michael Manna's a redshirt freshman. That's another one of those walk-ons that we got from Florida, the state of Florida, and was able to help us win a football game today. So, again, we're very proud of that.
Doesn't just amaze you watching Bo Brungard week to week, his performance?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, I saw Robert Morris against West Virginia last week. I didn't see anyone in West Virginia, you know, do some of the stuff that I saw Bo do today. You know, I thought they had him corralled at certain times, and you can see his speed and agility and strength. You know, one of the strongest kids in our weight room. You guys talk about touches. Some of those, you know, come off, you know, reads. You know, it might be a pass that he sees a lane and he takes. It might be a read where he's got to pull it. But again, to see him come out and, gosh, 200. Trevor said was a MVFC, you know, Missouri Valley Conference record, 264 yards on 10 carries. I mean, I don't know how many in the history of college football had that many 10 carries and 265 yards rushing. But I was very proud of the passing game too. You know, when you look down on third down, we were 6 of 9. Again, ball security, stress ball security. 2 weeks in a row we took care of the football. 2 weeks in a row we were able to get the ball defensively back for our offense. So we got to continue improving in all those facets.
You showed some different things today, up-tempo to start the game, and then slowed it that
Yeah,
slowed it down, but
yeah.
normal. Is something-
No, that's normal for us. You know, we feel like there's times we can huddle, there's times we can go fast, there's times in the middle where, you know, we can get to the line and be able to see, you know, the advantage you have nowadays with the communication the coordinator has with the quarterback. You know, that doesn't click off till 15 seconds left on the play clock. There's a lot of communication now that can happen with our offensive coordinator and our quarterback. Our quarterback can't talk to him, but he can hear, and, you know, we can try to get guys in the right play, and we try to do that at times. So we might get lined up quick because we know we got a good 20 seconds to really take a good look at what a defense is going to and put our offense in a, you know, favorable position against that defense.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You go. Go ahead.
Okay, up to the point where you guys had that 50-50 lead, I mean, was that a complete performance in all 3 phases of the ball that you guys have seen?
Yeah, it really has. I don't remember in a long time being able to play. We played a lot of freshmen there in that 4th quarter. You know, it was great to see we're able to get Devin Sherwood, you know, game reps, which he probably hasn't had for a long time, and to see him execute the offense and be able to get in there and run it. So for us, yeah, you don't go in those games. You always go in, you know, planning it's going to be a battle, and all of a sudden it's advantageous to you. And now in the second half, we can play some of that depth. You saw some freshman defensive linemen playing, some freshman linebackers playing, redshirt freshmen, and we haven't been able to do that probably in the past 2 years.
Is it an advantage to get 2 wins before you play Michigan State?
Not necessarily Michigan State. When I looked in how important this win was, and this is probably something that I haven't shared, I knew that we needed to win those home games. We got a 2-game road, and it's hard winning games on the road. So you got to take advantage, and we've learned that. We've learned that by doing. Last year, trust me, that's still a nightmare of losing a home game early, to Duquesne, who's in the same league as Robert Morris. And when you do that, you put yourself behind. But to go 2-0 at home, knowing that you have a 2-game road opponents in the next 2 weeks, and then you get a bye week before league play, that this game was very important. Kids didn't need to know that. I did, and wanted to make sure we got off to a good start here at home today in the Ice Castle.
Every time you were in the red zone and scored today, how much confidence was that?
Real good. People ask me possession. We possessed the ball last year, but we weren't high scoring. I want to score. I want to score. Every time we get the ball, we want to score touchdowns. That's the expectation. Every time defense takes, we want a 3 and out. We want a turnover. We want to have the best special teams. They got too many yards on their kickoff return today. That's disappointing. That we got to clean up. We want to be great in all 3 phases. And today, I don't know how much adversity our kids faced, in a game. Sometimes I like seeing that too. How are our kids going to respond when things get really tough? And, we got 10 more games, and there's going to be adversity, but that really is the tell of what your team is how do you overcome some of those setbacks in a football game.
Thanks, everybody.